Okay, so we're gonna get right into it and go over the exact sales flow and conversations you wanna be having in order to close more leads for your mobile bartending business. First and foremost, for those that don't know me, my name is Shelby Bellin. I have followers all over the internet, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, because I was able to create a six-figure mobile bartending business in less than 12 months. And now I coach other people how to do this as well. So feel free to subscribe if you wish, but let's get right into your sales flow and conversation. There may be some things that you are mistaking when having conversations with potential leads or potential clients. Okay, first and foremost, let's break down what happens when a client comes to you to essentially inquire about your services. So the first thing that we're gonna want to essentially do when this happens, you guys, is we're going to send them a message, okay? So we're going to send our lead a message, okay? And what that message says is very short and sweet, okay? We are in no way trying to, with this message, confuse our customer. We're not trying to give them too much information. We're not trying to give them too little information. We are trying to give them the perfect amount of information that will essentially want to book with us. I don't know why my pen is not working. But first thing at the top, essentially, I don't want to say it's a pyramid, but let's do it. So send them a message, okay? Send them a message. That's the first part, okay? So we're gonna send them a message. The next thing that we're going to do, okay, this message, the goal of this message right here that we are sending them is to get them on a sales conversation. The reason I believe so much in sales phone conversations when selling our services as mobile bartenders is because we have what's called amiable buyer types, okay? So step one, send them a message, trying to get them on the phone, okay? Now, how do we do this? What does that sound like? It sounds like, thank you so much for reaching out. We'd love to be a part of your event. Do you have time for a 5 to 10 minute phone conversation? Now, another thing you can add that has been absolutely fucking incredible lately for me is that I have actually been telling them what their price is going to be, their starting price is going to be based off their guest count when they inquire. So when they inquire, typically when leads come to us, right? We know their guest count, usually where their event is located, the timing, the date of the event, etc. So what I've been doing is if I know it's going to be less than 75 people, let's say, okay, I know that that's gonna be my basic package, which is $1,000 for one bartender, cup, straws, napkins, garnishes, basic bar setup. So what I am actually doing, you guys, is I'm saying, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. We would love to be a part of your event. Our basic package is $1,000. Do you have time for a 5 to 10 minute phone conversation so we can go over exactly what you're looking for and I can go over our rates based off of what you need? And that has been landing me almost every single sales conversation, okay? So one, send them a message like what I just said. The next step is going to be obviously plan an app or something to use to set reminders for yourself, whether that reminder app is reminders on your iPhone, whether that's Google Calendar, whatever that looks like for you. Because number two is going to be actually going on to the sales call, okay? So have the sales conversation. And then we're gonna go into this, which is obviously the most important thing, right? So have the sales conversation in step two. Now, when we're having a sales conversation, what does that look like? So like I just said to you guys, I was you know how you essentially are able to get a lot of information from their inquiry? What I want you to do is kind of digest it and then also really essentially dissect it, okay? So first you're okay, these are these people, digesting it, and then we're going to dissect it, okay? And the way that we're gonna do this is, let's look up their venues. So typically I'm going to Google, okay? And I'm la la la, going to Google, looking up your venue, looking up what it looks like, looking at photos, seeing if there's a bar set up so I can see what we would be working at. So that when I get on the sales conversation with them, I already know a lot more about it than most people probably do because I've taken the time to do my research, okay? So have that sales conversation and be very relatable to them. Be like, oh my gosh, like I saw your venue. It's so pretty. I love that they have a barn, or I love that they're doing this, X, Y, Z. Make a connection, okay? You also can congratulate them. Say like, congratulations, like, oh my gosh, like congratulations on your wedding day or your birthday party or your corporate party or like whatever you're celebrating, okay? Whatever we're doing, I'm invested emotionally because we have amiable buyer types, which mean they are emotionally invested in their event. Okay, so the next thing, during this sales conversation, what we are trying to do, you guys, is appeal to them in an amiable way, which is what I just said, being emotionally invested, but also in an analytical way. So you're taking the guessing game out of like, what's this gonna cost for them? So typically when I'm on this conversation, you always just wanna make sure that we can operate as a dry hire. It's usually like the first question I ask, like, hey, like, I know that you're interested in our services. Let's just chat about like, are you able to do a dry hire service at your specific event and venue? Once they say yes, great. Oh my God, that's amazing. Okay, and then you can ask them more questions. Now here is the key, okay? Number 3, be a problem solver, okay? Now let's be real honest with ourselves here, okay? Planning an event is fucking stressful, okay? So there are a lot of times people come to us and they are stressed about planning their event. So anytime you can take an answer to a question you've asked them and turn it into how you're the solution, that's gonna be amazing. So if you're like, do you want signature drinks? And they're like, yes. Be like, oh, that's amazing. Okay, well, we have some great options for you. We can give you a full shopping list. We are fully insured. See how I'm always touching on things that may be an issue for them if I wasn't there. Something that you guys can do that's actually really incredible, and I do recommend doing this, anytime you're about to go on a sales conversation with someone, think about all the issues or problems they would have if they didn't hire you. They would have to source their own insurance. They might have to go buy all their cups, straws, napkins, garnishes. They might have to do all of that stuff, right? So let's literally tell them that. Like, I'm gonna bring all your cups, straws, napkins, garnishes, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm going to be fully insured, so you don't have to like go get insurance. I know it can get so expensive nowadays. You know, you're always acting like the solution to their problem. So that's the next step. Now, number 4 is give them the full picture, okay? Super important. Give them the full picture. Now, what do I mean by this? What I mean by this is that I talk to a lot of people on the phone, and I always am like, this is what our services cost. So like once I've been the solution to their problems, I'm like, this is what our services cost. And in the beginning, that's all I would say, okay? You are not giving a client or a potential client the full picture by just telling them what your services are going to cost. And the reason you're not giving them the full picture is because they still have to go and buy all their alcohol, sometimes their ice, their mixers, depending on what your package looks like. So you need to give them the full picture. You should know on average how much it's going to cost them to essentially do their entire day, okay, their entire event. So you need to either A, price out all the alcohol, or you can use my general rule of thumb. I've noticed it usually costs about $10 per person, okay? So knowing that it costs $10 per person, and let's say we're doing a 75 guest count, so $1,000 our basic package. So $10 times 75 is $750, okay? There's the math of that. Now, what we're also adding is our package rate. So our package rate is $1,000. So their total open bar experience for 75 people is only gonna be $1,750. And I tell all of that on the phone to them. I'm like, this is how much our package is. This is how much I expect you to spend on all your alcohol. So you're able to offer your guests an entire open bar experience for only $1,750, which is insane, by the way, you guys. Let's do some quick math on my phone here. So typically people charge like $50 usually for open bars. That would cost them $3,750 before tax or gratuity at any restaurant or venue that's not DIY. So you can also talk about that a little bit. Like, yeah, it's kind of crazy like how much money you save, you know, bringing your own alcohol, which is what we allow you to do, so on and so forth. Now, step 5, once I've given them this full picture here, my step 5 is I'm going to send over the contract. Now here's the best thing, and why I love my contract so freaking much, which obviously you guys can get it linked below this video too, but the reason I love my contract is because it's fill-outable by every single client that I talk to on the phone. So I'm not having to custom quote, I'm not having to custom contract, nothing like that, because I have a standard package, I have a standard contract. Now, if they wanted anything past the $17.50 or basic package, that's all outlined clearly for them in the contract. So they're able to essentially, on this freaking contract, you guys, they're able to pick out their additional options if they want to essentially have us bring ice mixers, etc. But we're giving them a full picture of everything that they're going to essentially need to purchase for us to do our job. And then from there, I am going to automatically email them my contract. Once the contract is emailed to them, they then are able to fill that out and get that back to me. And I always say, I'm gonna send over the contract. Please let me know if you or any other event host has any questions. And just let us know, and we will send that over to you right now. I literally hang up the phone, I go right onto my email, I send them over the contract. And by the way, so there's a couple of options with your contract. You can have them just literally print it out, fill it out, and then send it back to you. Or you can always opt to do an online fill-outable contract, which I have used Jotform, which is a free, amazing website for you guys to use. Absolutely love it. I absolutely love Jotform. So you can definitely use that as well and send a link for them to fill it out online as well. But let's say, okay, now the final part really of this sales flow, you guys, and something that's so important to say is the fortune is in the follow-up, okay? Fortune is in the follow-up. So what does that mean? It means you got to follow up. So something that I've noticed a lot of people don't do in their business is follow up with people. So we want to make sure that we are following up with these people. If they don't reply to our contract email, in 3 days, I'm going to touch base with them and be like, hey guys, just want to make sure you got the contract and make sure you didn't have any questions, so on and so forth. Following up is really important. People love when you do it. They're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for reminding me. Remember, planning an event is stressful, but this is the exact sales flow, you guys. This is something I use all of the time. If you want access to this all printed and in a beautiful thing for you, obviously you get to print it yourself, but in a beautiful format for you guys to print. I do have that also inside my mastermind. As always, you guys, make sure you hit subscribe if you loved this video, and all the links to join my community or get access to the contract, anything like that is listed below this video. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me.